I don't know what day it is. I know it's Friday. I don't know. I don't remember the date. I'm so tired. My back hurts. The inside of my thighs hurts. A little crampy, not as much as before, but I'm starting to get crampy again. Can we just talk about the horrible heartburn? Oh my God, the past day and a half, especially today, the heartburn has been just nonstop. Just, it doesn't matter what I eat, what I drink, what I take, no matter what I do, it just won't go away. That heartburn is just, it's killing me right now. It's like, it's not just like a burning sensation that you know, that's mildly annoying. It's like, it's making me want to vomit. So right now I got dressed. I'm gonna try to do 2 miles because she's there. I think I have a nice little waddle going lately because I feel like I just have like I'm carrying like a bowling ball in between my legs. So let's go for a walk. It's hot outside, but whatever. I started getting a little crampy on Thursday. But then I started getting the twinges again last night. So then like in the middle of the night, I just got off the bed and I started doing like deep squats and stuff. I felt her trying to wiggle down, so then I was trying to just help her, you know, just make more space down in my pelvis area. I didn't really sleep very well. I got up to pee like 5 or 6 times. But I don't want to take a pill because I'm not like peeing a little bit, I'm peeing a lot. So like if I knock myself out with a sleeping pill, I don't want to pee all over the bed. I did some cleaning because I'm trying to stay active, and then drinking lots of pineapple juice. I don't like eating pineapple. It cuts my tongue and I don't like it. Oh, I went for a walk today, another 2-mile walk. Do I want to do 2 miles? I don't want to do 2 miles. I'm tired. But I feel like, okay, well, it's going to help me with my stamina. That'll help me get through labor a lot more. Bless you, I heard you. And then I've been doing stretches too to open up my pelvis, just kind of like squats and then like just different stretches. I really wanted to give birth like yesterday and then just be in the hospital like throughout the weekend, but I mean, the baby's gonna come when the baby comes, and I know that, so that's why whenever I feel her squirming, like trying to squirm down, I feel like she pushes, like she'll push through my stomach, like mid-belly push, and it feels like she's bracing herself, because then like shortly after she pushes, I feel her head squirming down at the bottom. So then when I feel that, that's when I start going into like squats and stuff, like really deep onto the floor. And then I took a hot shower. It was gonna be like a warm shower, just like a regular shower, but my back has been hurting all day. It's been hurting way more. I just put it like as hot as I could, and I just honestly, after I washed my hair and I finished showering, I just like leaned over in the shower like on the wall, and I just let the hot water just like fall on my back because it hurts. Today I started feeling like the twinges, and they're much stronger than they were last weekend, so that's promising.
I had my 40-week appointment today, and I haven't progressed anything, so I have to be scheduled to be induced now, which I'm very sad about.
I tried to take a small clip, but I really wasn't in the mood to speak or talk just because I was just so disappointed yesterday with the results that I got at my 40-week appointment. But I was so sad. I was so sad. I've just been so emotionally and mentally prepared for it, so I'm just waiting on my body to react, and I can feel her. Like she wiggles down, she's ready to come out. So it's just my body just taking forever. But last night I did have a little bleeding, like mucousy bleeding. I sent a message to the doctor that I saw yesterday. I'm gonna contact them just in case, just so they know that there's some bleeding happening. But they said it's normal, especially after a cervical check. And I figured that it may have just gotten irritated. It may not even be like a sign. Then this morning I got a notification that I'm already on the list to be induced. And I get it. She explained to me that there's a high risk of stillbirth. You go past a certain date, so, and I don't want that. So, I'm trying to stay positive. But I'm very bummed out that I have 0 progression since last week. I knew it was gonna be slow because I'm a first timer, but I really didn't think it was gonna be this slow. So that's where I am. And I just got a call like literally seconds ago. I just hung up the phone with my OBGYN's office, and they have scheduled my induction for Wednesday. Today's Monday. They scheduled it for Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Baby girl doesn't come before Wednesday on her own. I'm getting induced on Wednesday. And I'm kind of glad though, cause it's before my actual appointment, and I really didn't want to go to another OBGYN appointment. I'm really sick of going to those. I love my doctor, don't get me wrong, he's great. But I'm just so sick of going to appointments. So I'm just so ready to just give birth and meet her and all that fun stuff. 2 days left with this belly, and I'm so excited. I hope she's ready to come out, because it's time to come out.
A few moments later.
So I've been thinking about how I'm being induced in 2 days. I'm kind of bummed that I'm not gonna get to experience the natural feeling of like contractions coming on, going into natural labor. And I really wanted to feel that. I really want to know what that was like. And I can always call and ask them to change the date, but for most of my pregnancy, I'm like, whatever gets her out, I don't really care. Natural birth, induction, C-section, who cares? But now that I am getting induced, I realize that I did want to, you know, experience that. I mean, it's not necessarily the only child I'm gonna have. I might have more, so I could definitely go into natural birth with them, but at the moment, that's how I'm feeling. It's actually a very peaceful view. I was expecting to have a city skyline view. I have my mask on. There's Lucia. She's moving a lot. Look at that.
Oh wow. It's going up and down like crazy now.
Yeah. And I got IV, well, the start of one. Then my wrist thingy, and then they just brought me food. I already ate, and the doctor came in, they checked me. I was like a centimeter dilated, which is actually progress from what it was before. And then they put the little balloon inside to help me kind of like thin out. And that's it. And then hopefully, if I progress really well, then hopefully I give birth tonight. I'm really hoping I give birth tonight. My nose is all red and a little swollen because they did the COVID test thing on me. So, oh, look at these rolls. I'm starting to look like Luna over here. So, yeah. And then Emmy, they only fed me, so Emmy went out right now to go get food. Luckily, he's allowed to come in and out. So, yeah. And then I got to keep my mask on when the nurses are in here. I can take it off when I'm by myself. Until my, my results from the COVID test come back. And if it's negative, then I can just keep it off altogether, so. Still contracting. It's 5 minutes till midnight, and my water broke. And it's kind of just trickling out slowly. Oh, I don't know if these are gonna get stronger, but holy cow. I always like to look at the monitor after I have a contraction. And then I'm like watching Friends over there on the TV. It's not really distracting me. I don't know if I should just put music on or... It's 12:45. No. I went to... Oh, contraction. I went to use the bathroom to pee, and the little balloon came out, and she just checked me, and I'm 5 centimeters.
Damn.
So they're gonna stop me on Pitocin soon.
Nice. That's a lot.
I know it's a lot. It is a lot. Almost at active labor.
Yeah.
She says I'm doing good. She says I'm doing really good. I was like, oh.
You're almost halfway there.
Yeah. Well, I am halfway there. It's 10.
Yeah, you're halfway there. We've only been here for what? 7 hours?
Yeah, 7 hours.
Okay. They've started me on actual Pitocin now. They've given me the lowest dosage as of now, and then they're gonna come back and check to see how well I'm doing and how I've progressed, and depending on that they decide how to increase or leave it alone. But I've been doing really well, really well. Right now it's 120, but they put in the Pitocin like at 115, so I'm doing good. Now I'm watching Clueless. Clueless is on. I love this movie. I tried playing music or going on YouTube or like social media, and honestly it did not distract me enough. But watching TV, being able to watch TV in between contractions is actually very distracting, so that's nice. I'm allowed to get up out of the bed, so I can kind of walk and pace and just kind of, if it gets too much. They gave me a sleeping pill so I can try to get some rest, because they're thinking that I might give birth in the morning. I got an epidural. It hurt so bad. They said it didn't hurt, but it hurt. But I'm not trying to be a hero. I feel nothing. I'm having a contraction right now. I feel nothing. That's it. I'm ready to sleep now, so I can have energy to push later. I feel a little tightening, but that's it. What did you see with the?
I didn't see much because I was more concentrated on you, but like he was just like pack, doing what he had to do, and that's it. He's like, I saw him like, oh, it's gonna look a little rough, and just went fluke. Like, damn.
The initial poke is what hurt the most. They're like, oh, contractions hurt more than this prick. I'm like, oh.
That's a lie.
I guess I have a weird thing about people touching my back. He was like poking my spine. I was like, oh. He's like, that's just my finger.
Yeah, I saw that. Was pretty funny actually.
Maybe for someone that isn't weird about people touching their spine.
Yeah.
Fine. But yeah, was I wiggling a lot?
A little bit. It wasn't that bad.
Okay. They kept yelling at me. I feel like they kept yelling at me. Still moving? No, don't reach.
No, you're fine.
Put your shoulders down. They told me to put my shoulders down like 5 times.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you were in the middle of a contraction too.
Yeah.
That's alright.
I'm gonna sleep now.
Okay.
Everything is numb now. I don't regret it. 6 a.m. They came and checked my my cervix, and I was still at 5 centimeters. They said I had a little bit of meconium. She got a little poo-poo in her bag, so she'll probably have to go to NICU for a little bit. Make sure she didn't get an infection. They said it's normal when you pass your due date, which I knew too. New staff, new rotation. They changed up, so I now have a new doctor that's on call for me. Feeling contractions. They upped my Pitocin to 8 out of 20. 20 is the max you can do. Because they're trying to get me to contract a little bit more than I am. I can feel them through the epidural, but they're so manageable. It wasn't like the ones before. When I asked for the ones before right before the epidural, I was like shaking, like my whole body was shaking. It was really painful. I would like hug Emmy, and he'd try to like rub my back, but physically it wasn't comforting. Emotionally though, it was comforting. But no, definitely contraction. But they're definitely, oh, that's a strong one. That's a big one. She just recently upped my dose. But yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It's gonna be 9 o'clock right now. He went to go feed and walk Luna right quick so she could go pee and stuff. So I look cute. Wow, super cute. It's 11:20, and I'm 6 inches dilated, 80% effaced, and she's at station 0, which is like right at the cervix, so that's good. But they gotta give me antibiotics because of the meconium, I think is pronounced. So I have a little bit of a fever. So we gotta do that. That's it. Hopefully she comes today before the night. Because to get to 6, from 5 to 6, it took a while. I was at 5 for a while, and I think from 5 to 6 it was a little faster. Hopefully from those last 4 centimeters. With the epidural, the contractions feel like I have to poop really bad. That's the difference. If it gets really bad, I have a button right there. I can just increase the dose. I'm trying to like brave it out as much as I can. I've pressed it a couple times, but not too many times. Update. It is 10:45 p.m. of Friday, and I am 9 centimeters. I've been stuck at 9 centimeters for like hours. So they're gonna give me 2 hours to dilate to 10, and if I don't, I gotta get a C-section. Wow, my hair looks so cute. They just upped it,
All the way to 20.
which is the max. It's the max dosage they can give me.
And there's the oxytocin.
No, Pitocin.
Pitocin, I'm sorry.
Oxytocin is the natural one.
No, it's oxytocin. It says oxytocin.
But it's the same thing, but it's the artificial one.
Okay. I'm just saying because it says oxytocin.
Alright, so she's right at that cervix. I'm feeling all the pressure, but my body does not want to dilate to 10 friggin' centimeters.
It's 1 freaking centimeter away.
Yeah, so they're coming in every 30 minutes and changing my position like I'm a pancake. So hopefully that opens me up. Look how long I'm going without a contraction. No, come on. I realized I haven't done an update since 10:45 last night. It's now, I don't know what it is. What is it? It's 7 o'clock at night right now. There's Lucia. She was born at 1:08 a.m. on August 1st. So she's not even 24 hours old. I'm recovering from the C-section. The C-section was so weird. Well, at midnight, the doctor comes in, and he was so nice. He's just like, listen, he even tried to let me push. Like, he's like, oh, maybe we can get you to push at 9 centimeters because some people can do that. You know, some people's bodies don't need to go to 10 centimeters. And he let me push like 2-3 times, like full on, like labor pushes. But nothing was happening. Like, the baby wasn't budging. There was no space. There was still a lot of cervix around her head. And it just wasn't gonna do it. So he said, I'll give it 1 more hour. And that was like around 11 p.m. or so. He's like, I'll give it 1 more hour. At midnight, he comes in and he just puts his hand on my leg. He's like, listen, Wendy, I know this wasn't the plan, but the best option right now is to go ahead and do the C-section. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, it's too much of a risk to keep waiting because I didn't want to do a C-section. And he's like, yeah, it is. Because like her heart rate it kind of leveled out, but for a second it had gone it had gone way too high. And then my fever started going down, but I still had a fever. Like, it didn't start normalizing or stabilizing until after I got out of the C-section. Yeah, so he's like, no, it's just safer because I had been in labor from Thursday at 7 p.m. all the way up to Friday midnight, or technically Saturday midnight. So it was like a day, it was at least a little over 24 hours of labor. I went into labor naturally. They had the balloon up there, but the contractions were my own body. Well, the balloons helped the contractions, but I went in, without Pitocin, I guess you can say. I did halfway. So they were like, oh, you're going to give birth fast once the Pitocin comes if you did all this by yourself, if your body did it by itself. But no, from 5 on, I was stuck at a certain centimeter for like hours. I started getting the urge to push around 7 or 8 centimeters actually, which was so hard. I can't even, like, I thought dealing with the contractions before was hard. I thought the epidural was hard, but like them telling you not to push when you need to push is, I can't even, it hurt more to keep myself from pushing than to push. Once I guess I had reached 9 centimeters or 8 centimeters, the new rotation of nurses came in, and that nurse told me, it's okay if you push a little bit, don't push full on like a labor contraction, but if your body's pushing a little bit, it's okay. Like, you're not gonna tear or hurt yourself. She's like, if it's just like a little push, like little tiny, that's just the baby, settling into the birth canal. Shh, 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 shh. It's okay. It's okay. She's going crazy over there. So I was like, oh, thank God for these nurses. I was like, okay. So then I was able to like release my body a little bit more and like be able to push at least a little bit. I wasn't like full on labor pushing, but it was just a little bit of like releasing that pressure, and that made my contractions so much easier. My doctor was really nice about the whole C-section thing. They just came in, they switched off my epidural they told me the name of the drug like 6 times. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like it's 100 times stronger than the epidural medicine. He asked, do you have any other questions before we get started? And I was like, do they have to stick a big needle in my back again for the C-section? He's like, oh, no, they just changed the bag, like the medicine in the bag, and once that kicks in after a couple minutes, he's like, we roll you out. And it was so fast. And he's like, any other questions? I said no. So then I looked at Emmy. I'm like, do you have any questions? And he's like, am I allowed to be in there? And he's like, oh, of course you can be in there. I'm like, all right, so whatever. We're doing the C-section, right? Because it was what's best. It's and I wasn't really progressing any. And they had to get the baby out, and my water had ruptured almost 24 hours prior. So she was in low, dirty placenta water. I'm like, all right, let's do it then, because my it's kind of leveling out, but not really. So they do change the medicine. Medicine kicks in within like 2 minutes, and then they roll me out. This hospital is really small, because this isn't my original hospital. My original hospital was like way backed up, so they had to send me to another hospital. So at this hospital, it's really tiny. So like we were in the operating room in like 2 minutes. Get to the operating room. By the time I get to the operating room, I'm completely numb. And, it's okay. It's okay. What are you doing? She's fighting someone in her dreams, I think, like cat fighting. So then they just kind of undress me. Well, not really undressed, because I'm already undressed. I'm just in the go. Time out. Okay, so weirdest thing, I'm already completely numb, and then they just kind of clean my stomach, and I'm awake for the entire process. I kind of knew that, but I thought it would be like kind of drugged out. I thought it was like, I don't know, I was completely conscious, and I could feel them doing stuff. Like you couldn't feel pain, but you can kind of feel like a little bit of just like poking a little bit, but like not hurtful poking. I was expecting to feel nothing, honestly. So it's like, okay, we're gonna start. And then like a few minutes later, I hear a little cry. That sounds like a little duck. She comes out crying, which is a good sign, because they were afraid that if she didn't come out crying, well, they told me if she doesn't come out crying, and she just breathes in the placenta, that she can get a really bad infection. And it's much more dangerous on her than it would be on me. She wasn't crying. She just wanted to be snuggled. Look at that. I thought she was hungry, but she's not. She'll probably get hungry soon, though. It's almost time for her feeding. But yeah, that was crazy. They clean me up. They take me over to PACU. I have no idea what PACU stands for. I was in PACU for maybe like half an hour maybe, at tops an hour. And they brought me back to the room, to the same room that I was supposed to deliver in, and it's also your recovery room. Came back to the room and I knocked out. And I figured that at the end of the day, it's not so much how your child gets here, it's just that they get here and they're chubby and healthy and wheezy. Are you wheezy? What's wrong? Are you cuddly or hungry? Which one? She just looks cuddly. But yeah, she's 21.5 inches long. Yes, I know. She's very long, and she was 8 pounds 1 ounce. So she's a nice chunkers. Yeah, or I think she's getting fussy because she might be getting hungry. So it was kind of a bummer, and I think my doctor knew that, and I really appreciate that they took, even though they didn't know me and I wasn't actually their patient, I really appreciate that they they tried really hard to keep me from having a C-section because they know that I didn't want that. I really appreciate that they did try everything they could to try to get me to those 10 centimeters before having to make the decision to to suggest a C-section, because they didn't tell me, okay, now we got to go to C-section. They just said, we recommend that we go into a C-section kind of thing. And I'm just like, okay. And this is such a small hospital, and there's only 2 other women who had babies the same night I did. So once they had their babies, like, all attention was on me. So they had most of the nurses, which isn't a lot. Most of the staff nurses that were in labor and delivery, they were with me in the OR. But yeah, I'm gonna try to feed her. It's almost feeding time, so I'll give you more updates. I don't know what's gonna come after this. I don't know if there's more updates after this.
I'm a new soul. I came to this strange world hoping I could learn a bit about how to give and take. But since I came here, felt the joy and the fear, finding myself making every possible